The person coming through right now in this reading is very determined to explore something more with you. And I'm hearing the time is now. So this feels like somebody that has been very patient with the process of what has been going on between the two of you. They may have even been very patient with you, kind of readying yourself for love and romance. Maybe that's like a vibe that you've given off to them, where you've had like boundaries in place. You've been very slow to open up. You've been the one that kind of has like set the pace or set the tone of the connection into something a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical. And this person has, honored that, has respected that, has moved according to how you've been moving. So even if you've been like, well, they've been taking their time and I don't really understand why, this is somebody that's almost kind of like, I was just following your lead, baby. Like, you're the one that has, been sort of like holding back a little bit, or, I put myself out there a little bit and I sense some resistance. And so this is somebody that has not wanted to like come on too strong up to now. They've not wanted to make you uncomfortable or, kind of push you to open up to them sooner than you would be willing to. So it feels like it might have even been something where there was kind of a need to sort of fine tune your energies to get in harmony with one another. There may have been a little bit of like misreading the signs, miscommunication, that it feels like it's something you might not have even kind of known, that you were giving this person mixed signals and then they were giving you mixed signals and wires got crossed somewhere along the way. But now this is somebody that's like, okay, I kind of see what's happening here. So I'm going to have to take a bold step forward, or, I've kind of like held my truth inside long enough. Yes, I respect you. Yes, I honor where you're at, but I feel that it's time for me and for us to get the ball rolling as far as the next experience with one another. This is somebody, it feels like, that they want to sweep you off your feet in the best possible way. There's a sense that they almost feel like maybe a certain degree of like boundaries or resistance on your part might have been due to kind of like heartbreaks from the past, that you hadn't gotten over necessarily. And this is somebody that's kind of like, I can understand that, but I really feel that evolving the connection between the two of us will help you to not focus on fears of the past repeating itself, or any kind of like insecurities or like a heightened level of discernment that has happened as a result of people that you were dealing with previously that let you down or that broke your heart. So this is somebody, it feels like, that is wanting to take charge of this situation, show you a different experience as far as love is concerned in general, and certainly, with what you've experienced with them so far. So we have, I'm secretly in love with you. So it feels like any kind of boundaries that you've put in place that has created delays in this situation, or has really made this person kind of challenged to sort of work for your time, work for your affections, work to sort of prove themselves as different from people that you might have also been dealing with at the same time as them or previously, that had like rushed forth into things and there wasn't that time to like build the proper foundation, or where you'd opened up very quickly only to be let down. Something that has kind of like changed your stance as far as romance, love, and partnerships is concerned, that has come out in your interactions with this person. It has actually worked to the advantage of like the desires that they've had for you, and they've needed to sit on that. It has cultivated a level of patience within them to where now these feelings are really, really deep, because they were trying to kind of just move according to your timeline. They would have wanted to open their heart and confess to you what they were feeling a while ago, but there's a sense of like efforts that they might have made to do that, and you pulled back. And you might not have even known that you had done that, but this is how this person like picked up on that. And so it's like, okay, it feels like it might be too much too soon. Let me just honor that. I don't want you to run away. I don't want to overwhelm you with the nature of like how I'm able to love or what it is that I'm feeling. So, this feels right. It feels genuine. I'm okay. I'm comfortable with kind of just sitting and, letting these energies sort of develop very quietly within. And so it feels like now, though, they've reached this level of they are very impatient. They're like, I can't hold back any longer. I can't wait any longer. You have stirred something within me, or something has developed within the silence of my internal world, within kind of the inner sanctum of my heart, in ways that you have not been aware of yet, that like, I need to make this confession to you. I need to speak my truth. This may be somebody who's ready to come right out and say, I've fallen in love with you. I'm in love with you. What's it going to take for us to move beyond kind of this energy of we're just dancing right on the edge, right on the precipice of something. But every time I take a step forward towards you, you kind of give me these signals and indicators that you're holding back, you need more time, things of that nature, to where this is like big conversation that this person wants to have. This is like a deep truth that it feels like is really going to surprise you. This isn't somebody that's going to be like, look, where's this going? You're giving me mixed signals. I don't know what you want. This is somebody that is wanting to be very kind of like direct and very honest, but just sort of like unleash the fullness of what has happened in the depths of their heart for you, that might be just the right thing for you to see. Like, yeah, there's an intensity within this person, but this is kind of like the tone and the pace that I've set within this situation. It didn't just kind of magnetize in an experience of someone being willing to respect my boundaries and take my time in this situation, but it's something that has served, where this person's like affections or their interest has developed into love. So it's not just kind of like a little step forward. This is like opening the floodgates, and something that might, like, when this person sort of makes this known to you, you may just sit there very quietly and like, what? You're in love with me? You've fallen in love with me? What? Like, but in almost a good way, that it might be kind of shocking for you. I also have I adore you. So this is coming through as an energy that is like, it's beyond love, what this person is feeling. Or if they're like, I'm in love with you now, and if we are open about that with one another and move forward with that on the table, that out in the light of day, then what we are able to build together, what we're able to transcend into, that's going to be beyond love. That's that higher level love here in the material plane. That's that heavenly love in the earth realm. This person thinks of you, the phrase devotion is coming through. So they're like very devoted to you already. This is somebody that wants to like nurture your heart. They want to help to kind of like ease a burden of fears that you're carrying with you. That may be the result of things that you've been through in the past, where even if you're like, yeah, I'm looking for partnership, I'm looking for love, and you think that you're moving forward in terms of like meeting new people or trying to put yourself out there with an open heart, this person, it feels like it's almost, they're going to show you that you've had a locked heart. You've had kind of like an energy where like the walls have been up and you haven't even known that, but they're not judging you for that. There's a sense of just wanting to kind of like pull you close, so you are able to soften into the reality of like, this person sees you, they see what it is that you want, what it is that you're desiring, but they also recognize that there's like a disconnect in terms of like the vibe you're putting off, or the approach to that, that may have like resulted in sort of not getting what you want up to this point. And rather than this person judging and being like, you say you want love, but then you're pushing me away, this is somebody that almost sees like, okay, I see what it is that you're wanting. I see that you keep showing up in this situation. We keep like getting really close to the brink of something, and then you get startled, you pulled back, or you kind of, you close off to me in some sort of way, and I'm okay with having to continue to take these steps forward to you, but now it's time for a different approach. You've taken the lead up to now. Now I'm taking the lead in this situation, because I think that it's like I have a key inside of me that can unlock something within you in just the right way. I think I know what it is that you need in order to feel comfortable with what is happening and what the future can hold between the two of us. And this is somebody that's like, I'm already in love with you for the fact that you want love, and yet you're so terrified of that. This is somebody that wants to show you a very different experience experienced from what you've known up to this point in time. Like, it's okay to even have those fears, that desire and that fear kind of all mixed in one. Like, this person adores that about you, and feels like, okay, I'm at this place right now. Let me teach you kind of a different way that love can be. Let me show you a different face of love than whenever you've been through in the past. It's made you kind of skittish, made you kind of scared, made you, longing for and yearning for and desiring love and partnership and closeness. But then when it comes into proximity, it's almost like, you're testing that, or you're afraid to let that in completely. Like, they're not turned off by this. They're not kind of like recoiling from this, and they're not moving in the energy of ego, sort of like, okay, let me conquer this, let me dominate the situation. This is almost somebody that is like, I've stood here with my arms open, hoping that you'd recognize that and kind of move towards me with that sort of equal embrace. But I see that there's kind of like a limit, like an energetic limit, a psychological limit, something where it's just like, you want to open your heart, but you won't, or you can't. So let me help you with that. Let me take the lead and kind of share this deep truth with you. Let me pull you in close and hold you until you are able to relax into that, knowing that, like, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. I also have, I'll never forget the time that we spent together. So this person like thinks back on experiences that you've had recently, things that you've said, something that was kind of translated in your energy or in the way that you were carrying yourself, or the way in which you might have been the one to kind of conclude the conversation, conclude the interaction, where they're seeing there's a lot of fear within you. There's a lot within you that is, kind of wanting, like they can see in your eyes just how much you want from this person. And this is somebody that wants to give to you. But every time they've attempted to do that, it's like something within you has pulled back. And this is somebody that wants to like gently hold up that mirror. Not in a way that's kind of like, you need to work on this, you need to fix this, but it's almost like, I see this about you. This has been my experience here in this situation with you. And I'm not going to be critical of that. I'm not going to kind of make you feel bad about that or put you down about that. I'm going to see that as, okay, you need some help and some assistance with this. You need me to, approach this from a different angle. You require some degree of truth on my part, some degree of like energetic openness and honesty. Like, you're helping this person to kind of muzzle their own ego in some sort of way. They've definitely had to cultivate a lot of patience as far as this situation is concerned. And again, it's something that has served really beautifully to allow these like feelings that have developed for you to really germinate into something that is love, that is like a deeper level of devotion. And so there's a sense of kind of like, thank you. You have helped to sort of improve me as a person. You've helped to improve my approach to romance and partnerships, or my approach to you. Now I think it's time for me to take the lead in this situation and, really prove to you, not just like give you a bunch of words that you're expected to kind of trust at face value, because they see that trust is not so easy for you. They've tried to earn that in sort of a standard way, or, in a way that had worked for them. But this is somebody's like, okay, let me try and adjust my approach so I can kind of give you what you need, so that I can kind of, increase the nature of what I'm giving, not so much sit there and like, if you keep recoiling and you keep pulling back, that I'm just going to say, okay, maybe it's too much, maybe you need to slow down a bit. This is somebody that's like, I see here where that threshold is. I'm thinking back on the interactions and kind of those cues, those indicators, those moments where you were the one that like broke from the momentum. You were the one that kind of like were falling deeply into each other energetically and at a soul level, and you're the one that kind of like, you look down and sort of ground yourself, on the earth plane, and kind of come out of this higher experience, this higher realm, this like heaven that is experienced in the nature of your eye contact. And so this is somebody that's like, let me help to kind of keep you lifted up in that energy. Let me open up in a way that lets you know, like, yeah, this is new, this is intense, this is different, this is beautiful for me as well. But I don't expect you to be the one that is, kind of doing all of that sort of work in order to move beyond comfort zones. Like I'm capable of kind of putting in this effort to really just kind of turn you in a different direction. So you really see the truth of what I'm holding inside, and then can maybe relax a little bit more into our interactions with one another. We also have, yeah, I'm hiding my true feelings for you. So this person loves you. They're in love with you. They have a lot deeper feelings than they have let you know. And it feels like they're matching your energy, something that may be kind of confusing for some people to hear. Like, wait a minute, what? I'm open. I want love and romance. I've been trying to manifest this in. I've been trying to come into alignment with that. That has worked to kind of create this window of opportunity between you and this person. But there's almost kind of like a blind spot that you don't see that this person sees, that doesn't have to do with like incompatibility. It doesn't have to do with sort of like, you know, they're necessarily the one with kind of the fears or the trust issues. I mean, they got their own baggage, they got their own kind of concerns, but it feels like at this particular stage in this interaction between the two of you, it's like this person has attempted to step forward towards you. They've attempted to open up. They've attempted to kind of like connect more deeply, and something within you is kind of like, wait a minute, I can't let myself fall head over heels. Wait a minute, I can't let myself, risk kind of ending up in the same situation that I was in before with another person. Wait, I got to make sure this isn't just limerence. I got to make sure that I'm not the only person that is kind of like sensing this sort of deeper bond between the two of us. And so as you've been moving to kind of put on the brakes or put up those walls, they've been moving according to your kind of cues, according to you taking the lead. And so this is somebody that's like, okay, you've done an excellent job of like bringing us to this point, but now let me pick you up in my arms and kind of carry you over this threshold. Let me pull you in close and hold you until you are able to just breathe and relax into the reality, into this energetic knowing, into the words that I want to speak to you, the truth that I want to put out on the table, the vibe that I am giving off that is more a reflection of kind of that internal truth that like, you matter. You mean so much to me. I value this experience with you. I have deep feelings. I have fallen in love with you. And that love is not just conditional. It's not just, I love you as long as you're kind of everything that I want you to be. This is a love that is, I love you, so I want to work with you to hold your hand as you move beyond fears, as you take a look at this blind spot, this aspect within you that you might not have seen, that only you have the power to free yourself from. But I can definitely hold that mirror up. I can be that key that kind of unlocks the door for you in a way that doesn't make you feel embarrassed, doesn't make you feel ashamed, isn't judgmental. But it's almost like this person is sort of like, yeah, I understand where this kind of energetic threshold or boundary is, but I need to pour my love into you more deeply than that, because I know that that will carry us into this next chapter of our experience with one another, where we can be operating on the same frequency. We can move as one through the days, through the weeks, through the months, through the years of our encounter with one another. We also have, I like that you are different from the rest. Yeah, so this person loves the fact that you are a paradox, that there's something about you which is very like, they can tell that you want love, they can tell that you want commitment, they can tell that you want closeness, but there's something inside of you that is so afraid of getting it wrong, that is so afraid of like opening your heart to the wrong person, or being the only one to kind of fall in love, and sort of becoming disempowered within that experience. They get it. And it's something that there's almost a sense of like, okay, there's something that I can do in this situation for you. I have been patient long enough. I've kind of learned you for long enough. I've learned how you move up to this particular point in time, or the point that we've come to with one another. But I'm done just sitting there and being quiet. I'm done just kind of like letting you take the lead in this situation. And again, the idea of a paradox is coming through, because for a lot of you, you're like, no, they were taking the lead. I was letting them kind of like, call the shots in this situation, and I was putting the ball in their court. And there's a sense of like, actually, you were the one that took the lead. You were the one that in some way established that boundary. And this is something that may be very like surprising for you. Like, this person is different from the rest, different from other people you've encountered. They actively listen. They're taking in all the different cues from you. They're reading aspects of you that you don't even recognize that you're kind of like putting forth. This is somebody, it feels like, that has been more honoring of you and kind of what you've presented so far, even in an unconscious way, even just in an energetic way, than other people that you've dealt with before. This may be a more aware person, a more cognizant person, a more emotional person, a more sensitive person than you've ever experienced before. And so how they love, how they interact with people, like in general, it's more than just the surface level conversation. This person reads body language. They read energy. They read those subtle cues. And you're dealing with somebody that is respecting you as a person, to where it's like, I don't want to overstep any boundaries. I'm picking up on the signals that you're giving me, which might be different from kind of like, okay, I'm showing up, I want to talk. We're spending time with one another, but then there's something within you that's kind of closed off. And they've attempted several different times to kind of come at this from a different angle, and they've experienced that closed off energy each time. And so this is a moment where it's kind of like, okay, I'm not going to walk away. I'm not going to judge you for that. Whatever might have created that within you, obviously it's been a while since you were loved right. Maybe you were never loved right by anyone, but I'm not going to look at that as a flaw and like, ooh, this is too much. It's going to take too much work. This is somebody who's a work in progress, and I want that finished product. This is somebody that wants you to know that you are worthy of love as you are in this moment, and that you are very brave to show up with them in this connection in the way that you have so far, and that it would be their honor to hold your hand and kind of walk you forth, like lead the two of you forth into this next experience of like, this is what it is to receive love. This is what it is to receive the love that I have to give. We also have, I'm so happy when I'm around you. Yeah, so this person, they don't want you to drift away. They don't want you to feel bad if you get scared and close off. This is somebody that, they're as much as they're going to like take the lead, it feels like, in this next season, this next experience, this next chapter between the two of you, they're not going to like push you to the point where you're uncomfortable. They don't want you to feel that you have to be anything other than who you are. But there is a sense of almost like, I must be insistent about this because I've held my truth inside for a long time and I can't do that anymore. I can't stand the thought of all this longing within you, all this chemistry between the two of us, all of these unspoken words. And yet there's a fear that I'm going to hurt you like that other guy, or that you're going to be the only one that is kind of tumbling headfirst into love. And then it'll be something where, you're up on cloud 9 and the other person's just sort of like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no connection here. There's nothing between us. Like, whatever the nature of what you've been through before that's created this level of like discernment, like self-love, like you raised your standards, you got these boundaries, and that's something to be very proud of. And this person is very proud of that. Whatever you've done as far as work within yourself to kind of like reach this place where you're like, I can open to love and partnerships again. But it has been the result of having to like heal through heartbreak, learn lessons, unlearn certain patterns. They applaud you for that. But there's also a sense of like, I see that you need someone to carry you over that threshold into love. That you've come as far as you can on a certain aspect, on a certain level. And this is something where they feel like, yeah, we have aligned with one another. I can be brave when you are afraid. Because you already have shown to them, it feels like, moments where you were the courageous one when they had some fears to work through, without you even knowing that. And now you've reached this place where it's kind of like they want to take things further, but they're operating according to the vibe that you're putting out. And they will continue to honor kind of like the pace that is right for you. But this is somebody that's like, okay, the time is now. we've done this slow dance long enough. It's time for me to seize the moment. And it's going to feel like a whirlwind, but we're going to very quickly accelerate things to the next level with one another. And you're going to be scared, but you're going to love it. You're going to love it because it's going to feel safe. It's going to feel right. It's going to feel like that rush of exhilaration on the other side of like, yeah, thank you. That is what I needed. I needed someone to help me adjust my position so that all the love that I have to give inside could be unlocked and exchanged with the right person. And so that I could be in a receptive place enough to receive all the love that you have to give inside. These feelings and this affection, which has developed into love. So for a lot of you, this person is like, they're going to put the pressure on you, but it's going to be in the form of like, I have fallen in love with you. I love you. I don't want to miss out. I don't want you to push me away. I don't want you to be afraid of the love I have to give. I don't want you to be afraid to receive this. I don't want you to be afraid to give love. Some of you might have even been like toning it down, trying not to come on too strong, which they have interpreted as a boundary. You've been holding back, so they're like, okay, I guess I have to hold back too. But they can't do that anymore. They don't want to do that anymore. They're like, let's just kind of rip the top off of this and explore it. There's no reason for us to kind of hint at the truth any longer. Because the truth is, I'm in love with you. I'm madly in love with you. I'm deeply in love with you. I'm falling in love with you more and more every single day. And I want to be loud about that. I want the world to know. And most especially, I want you to know. I want us to be able to name this feeling that exists so intangibly between the two of us, because I just can't keep it inside in this way any longer. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.